The strength in you, dun 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 dun, coming through with the strength in you. Hey boo, hey, coming through with the strength in you. What it do, what it do, coming through with the strength in you. You made it, good job, strength in you, coming through, strength in you, coming through. Hey boo.
What's
It's
up,
so weird.
y'all?
I'm
It's a
not used
Monday.
to like being on when you do your
I
hello
know. I
thing.
know.
I'm like,
Happy
what's
Monday,
going on?
y'all. It's a Monday, and you see the king is in on the scene. He wasn't supposed to be here yet, but it's a Monday, and as you know, we have to adapt. We have to adapt to situations when they happen because that's what life is. Life be life, and we just handle the business as necessary.
Mhm.
So, yay, happy Monday. We in here. You made it. Pat yourself on the back. You made it through the weekend. We made it. We made it. I got some fun stuff. We got a good show today, y'all. We're talking about getting back to who you used to be. And that is a topic of forever for everybody because we've all been through something. And a lot of people be trying to get back to who they used to be, but you'll never get back there. But we're not gonna go there yet. We're gonna get into our other things that we got going on. You know, our word of the day and our motivation time and our education for the we just got some stuff. We got some stuff because that's what we do. So without further ado, the first
The
thing
word of the day, don't wait, educate. The word of the day, don't wait, educate.
the word of the day, my lovelies. Let me tell you about this word of the day. I think we actually seen it before, but it popped up on the word of the day. And as I told y'all, I don't pick the word of the day. Life picks my word of the day. So today we have panacea. I feel like we've seen this before. Haven't we seen this before?
I feel like we have. I don't know
No?
what it is, so I don't know what it means. So it's brand new to me again.
Okay, well, then that's what it is. Panacea is our word of the day. Let's go into the meaning of this young word and find out what's really going on. Because it's new, and that is the beauty of life. You have to learn something new every day. So here we go and share with the Okay, I think I said that correctly.
Panacea.
Yeah, panacea. It's a Greek 16th century word, and it just means a solution or remedy for all difficulties or diseases. Okay, you want to go with that first sentence and read it?
Yeah. Even with the adventures of what
Advancements.
advancements? I said adventure. They're so small. Even with the advancements in modern medicine, some people hope to find a panacea to cure all illnesses.
Okay, let's see. My neighbors have wishful thinking that the new traffic light on our street will be a panacea. Okay, it'll be a difficulty. I got that. Okay, I understand. So let's see. How would I want to use this word in a sentence? Do you already have your sentence for it?
Yeah. Actually, I do. Um, with I hope that one day we can recover. We can find a panacea to all our symptoms from stroke.
You kind of stole my sentence, but it's all good.
I don't want to go first.
Alexa, stop. Don't interrupt. But anyway, okay. Every day we eat new things. And with these things, we're getting new diseases and everything like that. So, with all that being said, it is my hope that with all the new discoveries in medicine, we find a panacea for all these illnesses that keep occurring randomly to people. Because it's been the truth around here. Stuff has been coming out the woodworks that I never heard about. So, yeah, panacea, y'all, that's our word of the day.
Panacea.
Try to use that word at least 3 times today, and you should remember it. I'm gonna try my best too. We'll see what happens. Life don't always work out because it be life, and but
My
let's see what.
brain is already getting wrapped up in that. Like, how am I going to use fantasy 3 times today?
Don't overthink it too much. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get a little bit of motivation going on because I feel like we need the spirit.
When you motivate, you elevate. It's motivation time. When you motivate, you elevate. It's motivation time.
All right, it's motivation time with your boy Wisdom, and actually, I'm prepared today. I'm like excited and happy that I'm on the scene. And with motivation time this week, I'm going to start off with the quote. Um, it's by Marilyn Monroe, right? We all know
Okay.
who she is. Um, Imperfection is beauty. Madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely what? Oh, it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than be absolutely boring. So, what I got from that is like we're all different, right? And we all have a journey, and with some of them, I have crazy highs and crazy lows. But woo,
Sorry, sorry.
as long as we continue to push forward, it's always gonna bring a new result, right? A new way to kind of do certain things, and that's like you have to take that into consideration when it comes to having a stroke. We have to find a new way to get around certain things, and find new ways to do certain things that we should do and not even think about, right? So it's okay to be a little different, right? Don't beat yourself up because things are a little different and you're not used to them. Different is okay. It's absolutely beautiful, like Madeline was saying, to be absolutely different, right? Than be absolutely boring. So don't beat yourself up too much. Give yourself credit and go out there this week and kill it. Cause I'm proud of you. And if you haven't heard this before or you haven't heard this today, I love you. And stay strong and stay positive.
That part. I'm mad you're gonna end it. Anyway, no, I agree with you and Marilyn 100% because it would be so boring to live in a world where everybody was alike. So being different and having your own uniqueness is a beautiful thing. So I definitely encourage you to shine your light because your light is just as bright as anybody else's. So yes, with what she said. What she said.
What she said?
What's your history? Cause mine's a mystery. Let's uncover it and try to see.
So of course this is a little history time, y'all, and it's not. I'm doing Black history because I'm Black as hell, but it's not about just my history. We're trying to get everybody history. So if you got some history you want to put out there and shine a light on some people in your culture, please send the info out there so we can shine a light on your people because all of us are connected in one way or the other, and they all are our people. So let's get the history out there because it's important to have it. So I got two. We into a new deck, guys. We into a new deck from the Urban Intellectuals. This is the second volume, but it's the women's edition. I didn't pick it. It's just what it is. So I got two queens that I just pulled out the deck. I didn't choose them like that. I just picked. And the first queen we're going to talk about, her name is Amy Ashwood Garvey. She was born January 10th, 1897, and she died May 3rd, 1969. She lived a long ass life. All right, lady. She was an activist for African independence and the rights of African women. She's the first wife of Marcus Garvey, the leader of the United Negro Improvement Association, the largest African American and Pan American movement of all time. She risked her life for her husband in 1922 by stepping in front of his would-be assassin's bullet. So she got shot for her man. She served as director of the Black Star Line Shipping Company, established the UNIA Ladies Auxiliary as well as its newspaper, The Negro World. She also owned a jazz club and produced shows where other activists would gather to discuss Pan-Africanism. She co-founded the Association for the Advancement of Colored People in 1958. Miss Amy Garvey. She's been an activist in the community making moves, and she got shot for her man. No.
Actually, I want to add to today's history time and I want
Ooh,
to spotlight Roberto Clemente. Right, he was
tell us about it.
I'll tell you. So, um, Roberto Clemente was born August 18, 1934, and he died December 31st, 1972. He was a Puerto Rican professional baseball right fielder who played 18 seasons in the MLB for the Pittsburgh Pirates. After his early death, he was humorously inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1973. In 1973, becoming the first born Caribbean and the first Latin American player to be enshrined. Because he died at an early age, he had such a historic career. Uh, the Hall of Fame changed its rules of eligibility as alternative to a player having to be retired for 5 years before eligibility. Players who had been deceased for at least 6 months is eligible for entry. So he changed the rules to get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I know he kind of an activist in a way. He gave a lot back to the Latin community, and he was a hero of sorts. He died in a plane accident. I think it was a helicopter and it crashed, and he passed away early. But he was on his way to actually drop off supplies to a Caribbean country. So the guy was a hero, and he changed the rules of being eligible to get into the Hall of Fame. So I wanted to spotlight Roberto Clemente because we're always giving out our flowers to African Americans. So I want to throw some Latin
About
American flavor.
time.
You
About
know,
time.
but I got you.
Salute to Mr. Clemente, right?
Yeah.
Got
Roberto
that.
Clemente.
Roberto Clemente. Roberto Clemente.
There you
Yes,
go.
I got that. Bow. Give him his flowers, y'all, because he did major things and changed the game with the Hall of Fame. So salute to him. And for our other queen, I'm gonna talk about this. Our last one. I had her posted already. Amina, Queen of Zaria. Okay, she's from 1533 to 1610. 16th century warrior queen of present day Nigeria. Best known for her impressive military skills and her ability to lead the cavalry. She conquered much of North Africa for the Hausa people during her 34-year reign, accredited as a brilliant architect who constructed strong earthen walls along the cities she built and seized. She overcame traditional gender roles by refusing to marry and have children. So that means you ain't got to do the traditional thing, what they say. You do what you feel like you want to do in your heart. Queen Amina's life was the inspiration for the television series Xena, Warrior Princess.
I didn't know that. Look at that.
Wow. But why she don't look like that? You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna even worry about that. But that's amazing to know. So when y'all be loving on Xena, know she come from this heritage. I'm proud to be myself.
That was a cool ass show, though.
There really was a cool show, and you never would have known she was inspired by a black woman who did all this stuff in African.
That's when you watch Strength in You to find out exclusives like that.
Facts, because it ain't about dogging nobody. It's just about elevating those who wasn't necessarily elevated. So that's what that was all about. But let's get it on, y'all, because we got some other things we want to talk about.
Let's raise awareness, you see. Why? Because prevention is key.
What we raising awareness about, not only stroke, but trauma in general, because trauma is just trauma, and it's hard for everybody. We all suffering from something, some seen and some unseen. But because we're stroke survivors, we can speak to that personally. So because of that, that's why we kind of focus more on that. But if there's ever anybody who deal with diabetes or any type of heart disease, heart attacks, MS, you name it. It's a bunch of traumas out here that we don't even know the names of. So if there's anything that you're dealing with and you feel like you want to shine the light on it and raise some awareness, this is the platform for you. Reach out to Wisdom or myself, Strength, and we will definitely make a place for you to be able to get that information out, because our goal is to prevent people from going through the stuff that we're going through. And if we can just put out a little bit of information to change somebody's life, that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. So, as I said, we're stroke survivors, so we're talking about prevention of strokes right now. If you're unfamiliar with a stroke, it's basically when a part of your brain dies, or how I tell the kids back in the day when I was doing the preschool, your brain is asleep. That part of your brain went to sleep and is having a hard time waking up. So you have to do hard things, basically relive your toddler years to relearn how to walk, talk, swallow, eat. Literally everything under the sun you have to relearn to do when you have a stroke. But Mr. Wisdom and myself are redefining what it means to be stroke survivors, and we are having strength through recovery over need and emotions. That means we don't have time for no woe is me. We have moments, but it will not consume my day. So, the first thing I'm gonna talk about before I pass the torch to Wisdom to say what he want to say is to be faster. That acronym I'm going to talk about as much as I can on this show, because even when you're out in the public riding a bus or at a restaurant or wherever, you may see something, and what you know in this acronym, you can save somebody's life. So be faster. B is balance. They can't really hold their balance. E is eyes. They can't focus their eyes nowhere. F is face. It usually starts to droop a little bit. A is the arm. You can't really move it or lift it up. You have no control over it. S is speech. They can't talk well. They slur in their words and things like that. And that means T is time to call the E, emergency, R. So that is be faster, my guys. Be faster. That's how we saved lives, because as my brother shined the light on us last week and said, that first hour is the most critical time of you losing a lot of brain cells. So Wisdom, let me let you tell some things about that part.
Well, I actually wanted to switch it up this week, and something that's really dear to my heart, and it's not only with stroke survivors, it's with people dealing with trauma, and it's suicide, and a lot of trauma survivors deal with the thoughts occasionally, where they don't feel like they're good enough, or they don't feel like they're of value to society. So that thought comes up. What I would suggest is bringing awareness to it. If one of your friends is going through that mentally, just be there for them. You never know, a conversation, just listen to them, let them vent. Being there for somebody can avoid a lot of those frustrations that come with having a stroke, or dealing with MS, or dealing with fibromyalgia. These things are really difficult to deal with, and not everyone's mentally strong enough to deal with it on their own. So just be there for somebody. Extend that reaching out, be that shoulder for somebody to cry on, and bring awareness. I want to bring more awareness to. I know we all talk about being there for somebody when they're going through that, but really take that extra responsibility and share the hotline, share those things, because those things could save someone's life. And no matter what you're going through in this world, you're valued and your presence will be missed if you decide to take an early exit. So just be there for somebody and bring awareness to whatever it is they're going through. And I just want to bring that as a part of my awareness.
I'm glad you did, to be honest, because I almost forgot, because stroke brain. But I'm glad you brought that up, because not only have I been personally experienced with wanting to commit suicide, I definitely had those moments. But I remember, number one, that everybody didn't get the ability to wake up. So the fact that I did, I had to take that in and be grateful for that part. And I remember that at one point through my stroke, I had no feeling. And so although things are hyper and it hurts on a daily basis, I can feel, which means I'm alive. So those are different, you have to focus on the positives in life. And I know suicides have been growing at an alarming rate lately, and not even just of people with trauma. It's for kids. It's just everywhere, and it's because we are so busy judging people and what they're going through without really knowing what they're going through, and it makes them feel less than. And that's the last thing we should ever do to anybody. So I'm glad that he brought up suicide, because it's important that we talk about it and we remind you that it's okay to have moments throughout your day. You are human. Nobody's expecting you to just be strong all the time, because that just is unrealistic. You're a human, but you can't allow what you're going through to consume you so much to where you literally want to leave Earth, because the world is better with you in it. Whether it seems like it or not, nothing seems worth it when you're going through the pain of it, because it hurts at the moment. But the people who you're going to elevate afterwards because of what you've been through that's gonna be the thing that changes the game on how you feel about your life and about everything, because there's a purpose for your pain, and that's what you have to remember. There is a purpose for your pain. You may not know it right now, and that's because right now you probably got yourself in the same situation that you was already in. But old keys won't unlock new doors. We know that. So that means you got to do something different than what you did yesterday if you want new results. You can't sit in the same situation and expect things to change for you. It just don't work that way, unfortunately. So it's going to take strength in yourself and knowing that you are worth it, and speak life into yourself. Like I said, it's easier to throw in a towel and to commit suicide. To me, that's a coward's way out. And that's just my personal opinion. But if you was blessed to still have breath in your body, that means you got strength to fight for yourself. But you got to want to fight for yourself. It's not going to come with no fight. You know what I'm saying? So,
And to touch on that and to piggyback, we haven't done that in a while. To piggyback off what you said, even us, like we're some of the strongest people we know, and we have our days, right? So
absolutely.
everyone has no matter what you think of being strength, we have our days as well. And what I like to tell myself and other people going through that thought is think of the memories that you will have that you won't have if you check out, right?
Right.
Yesterday, I watched my niece and nephews and my whole family were building an Eiffel Tower Lego set, and if
Nice.
I would have thought, early on, when I had the stroke, I had those thoughts, and I thought my life was over, but I would have met people like Strength. I would have met homies like Jeff Roberts and been a part of this community and had those memories with my nieces and nephews if I would have checked out. And think about all you're not only affecting yourself, you're affecting those around you that actually care, love on you. So it's a really selfish ploy. And I just take a second because honestly, like even though you're going through pain right now, it's only temporary. You're gonna come out of it on the other side stronger and better than who you were going into it. So just
Right.
think about what you're gonna do, and if you need somebody, reach out. Reach out to somebody that you know who can trust with those feelings because it's a very vulnerable state. So I just want to bring
Absolutely.
that from my awareness.
And with that being said, let's also put out there that if you're going through it, when you need somebody, and I know it's hard to sometimes talk to family and friends because they have their opinions about everything, but that's why professional help is there. Don't be too embarrassed to seek that professional help. They are professionals for a reason. No, the first one you may find may not be the one for you, but you keep going until you find the one that works for you. What works for everybody else may not necessarily work for you, but there's definitely avenues and ways to get through the thing that you're
And
going through.
there's a number that you can reach out to because the
Yep.
hotline is too many numbers. When you're
No, I
going
think now it's like 811. I think they only
988, think of 911, 988. and that's a perfect a way to kind of get in contact with a professional and somebody who can listen and tell you, talk you off the ledge. So if you
Well,
don't
what
want to
you
talk, go ahead. I'm sorry.
now I was gonna say, with that being said, 988, is it like star 88 or a pound 88
No,
or what is it?
988.
Just
Stop.
988. So do y'all hear this? If you having any issues and you don't necessarily have the means maybe to go to the doctor, or you're afraid to talk face to face, hit them digits, man. 988, save your life. You are worth saving. Don't let your pain and what you're going through take what you deserve, and you deserve happiness, and your family deserves you. So that actually leads me right into our segment of what we're talking about. Because a lot of people are suicidal because they want to get back to who they used to be. And that is what you will sell yourself the shortest. You will never, ever, ever, ever be back to who you used to be. That's just like, not trying to be funny, but that's just like women who have birth. They coochie ain't never the same after that baby came up out of that. So you can't expect what you're going through or your brain to recover at the same rate where it was, because it's impossible. Then you were then, now you're who you are. So the thing that we want to talk about is really just embracing the new you and finding happiness in that part, because focusing on the old you is going to lead to depression and make you suicidal and make you want to hurt yourself and make you feel like you're less than who you were. But little do you know, you more than who you actually was then, because of how you see life now. At least that's my perception. What do you think, Wisdom?
I think we're talking about stroke survivors here. I think where a lot of like stroke survivors get confused, um, or they don't give enough credit to. A part of your brain is dead. When we don't put enough credit on that. Enough, not not credit, but like I don't think it goes through the head of a lot of stroke survivors. Like
Oh, thing of
part of
thing.
your life is dead.
Right.
So, you're not Jesus. You're not gonna recover from that. Like it's dead is dead, it's gone. You have to take your new life, and you can still be yourself. Like I'm still Junior, right? Like I still make jokes. I still have that cognitive ability to make decisions for myself. I know that's not the case for everyone, but you're still yourself. Like be yourself. You have to do things differently, and you have to find new and adaptive ways to do certain things. But that's part of life. Like even if you never had a stroke, you're still gonna have to evolve and change and adapt, like with the times. So take that attitude. Like you're not gonna be able to recover the way you used to because that part of your brain is dead, and you're allowing your brain to fire with the nerves, to fire new ways, to figure out other ways to do. I have a phone call. Hold on. I don't know what this is. Take
Well,
over, bro.
that's just mute yourself. But that's just like with anything. It's not just with stroke, guys. It's with life in general. Like think about how much of your past, like back in the day, this was fun, and back in the day we did this, and back in the day, but you would never get back to back in the day because that was back in the day. We are in a whole new time frame. So the person you was born as is not who you was meant to stay, because first of all, the only thing that's constant in this world and for the rest of your life is change, which means it's either going to go one way or the other way. So that means you have to be able to adapt and be willing to change up your mindset with how you look at things and realize I don't want to be my old nothing, because it's old. It's old. You want to be a new, but that takes you to shed like old skin and old problems and old traumas and just old things and become your new self. But you have to literally want that. If you constantly looking behind you, you're gonna keep falling down. Because can't none of us walk too far backwards without tripping up. Like none of us without looking, because you can't see back there. It ain't meant for you back there. What's for you is ahead. That's why that's the only place your eyes are searching.
There's the metaphor. Thank you for her taking over. There's a metaphor that I heard one time about driving a car. When your attention needs to be paid forward. Yeah, you have the rear view mirror, But if you look at the rearview mirror, it's really small, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not meant for you to give it too much attention. Yeah, you can look back, but don't give it enough energy because what's more important is what's ahead of you, right? So think about give it a positive spin because I love doing that. Um, I'm much more willing to try things now that I had the stroke and I had a second opportunity at life, and I don't think I would have been able to evolve if I didn't have the stroke, right? So you don't always have to look at it like woe is me and oh life sucks. Yeah, it's hard, but life is hard in general. You just have to do things a little differently. So and you survive for a reason. Like a lot of people will give you themselves enough credit. Like a lot of people get taken out by the show. The fact that you're still here means you have something to offer, something
God
to
got
do,
something.
and your purpose is not done.
God got
If you were done, you'd be out, right?
back.
God would call you and be like, you're it's a wrap. The fact that you're still here means you have purpose and you still have something to finish or do whatever. Your mission in life is not over. So think about it that way instead of thinking about it, oh, my life is over and negative thoughts, because those are only going to consume you and you're going to live life with regret instead of living life with purpose.
Actually, perfect. That is perfectly said because that's so true. I heard something yesterday from my sister actually, because she always be spitting knowledge, and she was talking about how everybody is always like, God, God save me, help me, God, God help me, help me, and God keeps sending you your avenues. Like maybe you listening to this show right now, you had some suicidal moments and thoughts or whatever, and God sends strength in you to give you this knowledge, but then you don't take it. And then what you think gonna happen when you get there and you're like, well, God, I asked you to help me. And he's like, well, I sent you what you needed, but you didn't take the knowledge you needed from it. But she was talking about how you out there swimming and you drowning and you drowning and you drowning. You're like, God, save me. I'm drowning. I'm drowning. And he sent a boat to you. And you tell the boat, go ahead. God gonna save me. And then you out there drowning, still can't swim, you just drowning. Here come another boat. And he like, man, you need help. And you like, no, I got it. God gonna save me. Then you go down, you drown. So now you dead. And then God like, no, you like, God, what happened? And he like, well, you fool, I sent you 2 boats, but you told him to go ahead. So, I mean, there's always going to be something out here to help you, but you have to be open enough to accept the help that's presented to you. So even on your hard days, maybe a song come on the radio and it's positive and it's good energy and it's reminding you of the greatness in your life. Don't take that lightly because God speaks through different signs. It don't always come the way you expect it to come, but it definitely comes. So
another metaphor, just to drive that home, was I heard like somebody talking to God, like, God, I want to bake a cake, right? And God's not going to give you a finished product. He's going to give you what you need to get to that product. You got to meet them halfway, right? So God sent you eggs on Monday. He sent you flour on Tuesday. He sent you what you need partially here in increments. And that's part of the journey, right? That's part of the process. And then you look at God, you're like, I wanted a cake. He's like, I gave you eggs on Monday. I gave you flour on Tuesday. I gave you what you need. You need to just do the work and meet them halfway.
What you said, do the work. I like that one better because that's what it's really about, putting in that work. We all want something for nothing, and that ain't the way life works. And being your old self ain't gonna get you nowhere because your old self was obviously making bad choices. That's what got you to the situation you were in the first place. So why would you even want to be back to that person instead of reinventing your new self? That's the part you want to focus on. And that's why we're telling you to look behind you as a pointless situation. You don't want to be there. God ain't even back there for you. He left in too. You forgot. But you got to put in the work and you got to go forward in your life because that's what it's all about. You got to seek that. You got to want that.
And to give you a personal reference, right? Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I miss the old me. Who doesn't, right? But the old me was reckless. I didn't think about things. I did things differently and did things wrong. And yeah, when I say I miss the old me, I don't necessarily miss the old me. I miss not having to think when I walk, not having to do certain things. I don't necessarily miss the old me because the old me was what got me in this mess in the first place.
Right.
So I was able to like do certain things. I remember last year I went surfing for the first time. Never in a million years would I thought I would have surfed before I had my stroke, and then lo and behold, I went surfing. Another thing, I used to hate sushi. The thought of sushi and raw fish used to bug me out, right? The old me. The new me is like, I almost died. Might as well try it. I love sushi now. Love sushi. So you don't know what you're gonna enjoy or what life has in store for you if you don't try and put in the work. Because if it wasn't for me allowing myself to think differently about certain things, hello, you're never gonna understand or reach a new level of your life and a new understanding. And I think more people need to put more thought into that instead of like, I miss old me, I miss old me, I miss old me. Like living in that past are gonna get you nowhere. You gotta move. Time doesn't stop for anyone.
And
Doesn't
if
matter.
you really think about it, most of us don't really miss the old us. We just miss our old mobility. You don't
Mhm.
miss your old self. You just miss what your body was able to do back then. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really all I miss. I didn't take I didn't take full advantage of my physical condition back then. But it is what it is because as you said, we've done more in this time in our newness because that old person wasn't thinking about helping nobody. That old person didn't give a damn about nobody else except self. And that's what landed us right where we are now. And
We were more selfish, and now we're selfless, right? So there's a difference.
absolutely. Sushi Simon has nice omega 3s. That's facts. No, but that's real talk. So that's something you to really look about. I mean, look about, think about,
Think about.
and really look inside yourself and see if it's even worth it. If it's worth it for you crying for your old self. Was your old self really a good person? Like real talk, was it? Did it really care about anybody else outside of yourself? Did it ever even try as hard as you're trying right now to just go to the bathroom on time and not piss on yourself? Your old self didn't care about none of that. So I think there was this beauty in this pain that we're going through. But again, as we always
Just a
say,
better person now than
it's
I
about
ever
perception.
was. I used to be really selfish, really greedy. I still have those tendencies every now and then,
Right.
but I think more about the next man than doing myself. I didn't think about like what you said. I miss the mobility I used to have. Like, and think about it this way.
That's
I'm
it.
36, right? I'm 36. When I was 21, yeah, I could do certain things because I was 21. I'm 36 now. So we're
Right.
getting older. Even if you never had a stroke, you're never gonna do things the same that you did when you were 21. So that's why people have midlife crises because they don't know how to handle that
Right.
change, right? But it's a part of life. And
Embrace it.
one thing is that we were forced to change because we had the stroke, and not everyone has that luxury. So
Facts.
we're go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. What I was thinking was, I want y'all to remember something. Most of us who said and want our old self back, right? We ask God for something. You probably ask God to make you a better person or to take you out of something. You probably ask God for something. And I know for me, I asked God to make me a better person. Then my ass had a stroke. And look at me now, though I truly am a better person. But it took for me to go through what I was going through to get to this side of me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say, be careful what you ask for because God has a way of making you uncomfortable to make you comfortable in the future. It don't come overnight. It's kind of that same metaphor about what wisdom talking about with the cake and how God gave you certain things. He putting you through certain trials right now. Cause that way your intellect can grow and you'll be able to flourish and elevate somebody else through the same journey you've been through or that you're going through. But Hold on, let me see. The new me is taking more work to be, but I appreciate the new me. I like that. I like that you said it's
Good way to
taking more
think about
work
it.
to
That's a
be.
great way to think about it.
I love it. Purpose in the pain. I'm gonna say that's Joy Towner or Justin Timberlake. That's Joy Towner. Yeah, purpose in the pain though. Amen. Real talk.
Honestly, like you going through what you're going through, think about your testimony, right? When you're able to tell somebody else, I love being a new stroke survivor because I can tell them simply they're like at the most vulnerable time of their life. Really, if you think about it. And
Mm-hmm.
having somebody that's like, it's gonna be okay, you're gonna get out of it. It's so inspiring. And I wish there was a me that I could talk to when I first
Right?
had this, because
Facts.
I would have looked at it so differently, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I must say, I wish I had the same thing, but at the same time, like I said, I asked God for something. And he made it happen within them first 2 days after my stroke. Because the first day I was pissed off. I was angry. I was cussing them out. I was pissed. But then something, I woke up the next day and something had hit me. And I still say it was God that just hit my spirit. And some in me said, well, why not me? Everything you ever been through prepared you for this. So then I started realizing there's a purpose for my pain. My mama didn't make it. Like Junior said, everybody who had stroke didn't make it because their time was up. But the fact that I still got time says it was something else that I'm out here meant to do. And the one
Mhm.
thing that my stroke couldn't steal from me was my personality and my happiness and well, it did try to steal my smile, but I kept smiling and talking about myself, and it came back a little bit.
I'm getting there. Like for those who are watching, I have a slight droop on my right side. When like if I look back a year ago, this like it's gotten so much better.
Yeah, it did.
I don't give myself enough credit sometimes. I'm not even 2 years in. Eventually, this is gonna go back to the way it was, and if it doesn't, like
Yeah,
oh well, that's part of the new me, right? It could be
that's
worse.
right. But I love it, and it has gotten better since I met you, friend. Your speech and everything has changed drastically since we first met. But again, that's another thing that we've talked about in many of our shows where we talk about patience and practice and just being patient with the process and with yourself. Give yourself credit for those little things because those little things really do add up, but you just won't know it until you really look at your journey and you really look at where you started from. Then you can start to really celebrate everything you've accomplished up to this point, and then you can actually know, man, I'm going to go so much further, and you're going to really start to believe it. And once you start to believe it and feel it, man, your life is going to change. The way you start to talk is going to just change everything. Hold on. It's gotten better, and it currently looks great. Somebody flirting.
Thank you. I'll take it.
I know that's
I know a
no,
lot
but
of people who are like dissatisfied with their life. I love my life right now. Like I
let
have
me
a great support system, and I take gratitude in the small things that I'm able to do versus things that I'm not able to do. I still get to hang out with my nieces and nephews. I still get to play my video games. I still get to watch my shows. There's things that I do that I don't give enough credit to. I still get
okay.
moments with you guys. I love it.
Hey, I'm just I am wanting to be honest though. I don't necessarily have suicidal thoughts, but I do have angry thoughts, angry moments throughout my day. Because before my stroke, I did hair. So when I can't do my own hair, or when I can't help my husband with my kids' hair, or anything that reminds me of what I'm not able to do, pisses me off. But it also makes me fight a little harder because I refuse to let that take from me what I have accomplished. I try not to focus on what I can't do anymore and focus on what I'm able to do. But like I know with just being human, that is sometimes it's easier said than done. And on those hard days, because I definitely have hard days, because I've been braiding hair since I was 7, and I had a stroke at 31. So up until all that time, I was doing hair. So that's one of the only things that kill me about this. But when I have my moments in my days, I turn me some good music on, And I remind myself of the things that I'm doing now and the accomplishments that I'm making now. I try not to focus. And then I also tell myself, like, you're going to be braiding again because I'm actually working towards it. Like right now, I'm torturing myself. I'm doing my part. And I'm not necessarily expecting it to work out because things don't always work out according to what your plan is. But as long as I'm putting that that effort in, I don't feel like I'm less than. I just feel like I'm not there yet. So it's how you speak to yourself. Don't talk down to yourself. Remind yourself of the things you've accomplished, man. Because, like we say, it's enough of this world that's dark and that's reminding you of everything that's bad in your life. You don't need to do it to yourself, too. You need to go out your way, literally go out your way to focus and just search for positivity and light, because darkness and negativity is everywhere we look,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And honestly, think about the small things. I remember when I took a shower for the first time, standing up and not using my shower chair, I cried like a little baby. And it was a happy cry. And I give enough, not flirting, but trying to inspire. Oh, we need this.
Yes,
Like,
love it.
regardless, I know we were joking around with the flirting thing, but thank you. Um, but yeah, like the first time I was able to do that, I cried like a baby, and it was
Mhm.
like a way to kind of reiterate in my mind, like we are getting better. Like, well, I'm not making a new accomplishment every single day, like I was when I was early on, but that means that's only a sign to getting better. Like I do things every day where I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And it's becoming so normal
Mhm.
at this point to do certain things that it doesn't even like register in my brain that that's a new thing I should like that I'm doing without even thinking about it. My walking's
Right.
gotten better, my talking, my swallowing, everything. I remember when I was brushing my teeth early on, I couldn't keep water in my mouth. Like now I brush my teeth, I'm able to rinse out with Listerine, even though Listerine sucks sometimes, but it is what it is. And I'm able to swash in my mouth and keep it inside. So those are small victories that lead to like big results. And I don't think we give enough credit to those small victories.
Yep. And you got to remember to challenge yourself. Don't get comfortable where you are and think that that's just it. Don't plateau at your own self sabotage.
Yeah,
Just
demise, really.
yeah, and it's real. Like, you have to try new things throughout your day, every day. You can't just wait until you go to therapy. That will be depressing if you don't see no gains because you only wait until you go to therapy and what they teaching you. You have, like, for instance, for me, with this foot surgery, for 3 weeks I couldn't weight bear on my foot. Now I can weight bear in the shower a little bit, but because it was sore, I was still using a chair to sit down and take a shower. Well, recently, for the past 2 days, I'll start sitting down, but I'll take a break every now and then and I'll hold on to the little bar and see if I can stand up on my foot. And I'm getting better with standing up on my foot. So I'm saying that to say it takes practice. Nothing's going to necessarily come out overnight, but the more that you do little things to challenge yourself, you'll see growth and you won't be focused on your old self because you'll be more overjoyed at the things that your new self is accomplishing. I'm telling when I celebrate everything. I celebrate everything. So that's
Hmm.
what you need to get in the habit of, celebrating yourself no matter how small it is. If you can sit up on your bed and not tip over like you used to, celebrate that. If you can
Hmm.
sit and you ain't drooling no more, celebrate that. If you can hold a better conversation, celebrate that. Literally, nothing is too small. If you can chew your food and all your food stay in your mouth without falling out, celebrate that. Because the little things, little inches are monumental milestones. I'm trying to tell you. And if you search and you find, I mean, no, if you search and you only pay attention to the positive things in your life, suicide will be the furthest thing from your mind. Your
Hmm.
old self will be the furthest from your mind because you'll just be
And
just
you won't even think about that. You'll be thinking about all the good things that you're doing now, and not necessarily, oh, I missed a homie, or oh, this type of sucks. I want to check out. Like those are
Mhm.
absolutely be the farthest things from your mind when you're only focusing on good things and positive things and surrounding yourself with quality people. Like
Right there.
sometimes it's your environment.
Even listen, even if it's family, I can't speak this enough. Me and my friend was just talking about this the other day because she was like, I didn't know I can do that. I did this family. I didn't know I can, distance myself. But if they're not beneficial to your health, your mind, your spirit, get rid of them. You want to surround yourself about who you want to be. If you want to be negative, that's who you surround yourself with. But if you want to be a go-getter and you want to be positive and you want to go forward, that's who you surround yourself with. That's the people you talk to. That's the people you insert yourself in their lives and vice versa, because they're going to elevate you and they're going to push you to be your best self. I personally don't want to be around nobody who don't want me to be my best self. If you're content with seeing me be just regular, I'm good on you. So it's important to know whether it's family or not. If they're not good for you, if it's not conducive to your life, let them go. It would only hinder you to keep people around you that's not for you, whether it's a spouse, a friend, a sibling, a cousin. Literally, it don't matter who it is. People are people. And sometimes we put these titles on people, and we was taught that because they family and we got to hold them close. That's a lie. They the ones probably reminding you about your old self. Girl, remember back in the day when you used to. No, you don't want that. You don't want nothing like that. You don't want nobody around you reminding you of what it was like back in the day, unless y'all doing it on the same kind of playful note. But somebody
Mhm.
reminding you what you can't do or what you used to do, be good on them. Dismiss yourself from their presence. You don't need them. And
Absolutely.
that's real.
And I like another thing too. Like I know another problem that we have as stroke survivors, or in general, just people like ghosting you, or people who thought were your friends leaving you. They did you a favor, really. They did
Mm-hmm.
you an absolute favor, and you gotta thank your lucky stars or your God about that they're no longer in your life, because they're gonna provide toxicity, and they're only gonna provide bring you down when you're trying to rise up. So if those people are no longer in your life, amen. You don't need them in your life, right? You need a strong. Joey Diaz, one of my most favorite comedians, he said, "I'll take over the world with three people. I don't need a whole squadron of people to have my back. I just need
Don't.
three."
That's it. Long as you loyal to me, I'm good. Long as you speaking life into me, I'm good. I'm telling you. And now I think it's gotten worse, to be honest, since my stroke. I have no tolerance for negative energy. I have no tolerance for negative thoughts. And like, I get when we going through something that's different. But literally a person that just can just find negative in everything in life, I can't do. And I literally get myself away from that because
You
I'm
made
not that.
this face right now when you like almost break your teeth and you grind your teeth. And I can imagine if I was your like son, I'd be scared to death. So like a little bit, you like mother, and I was like, oh, remind me not to miss Joy off.
That's funny because my son do talk about I'm more scared of you than I am my dad.
For real, I can see it. And his dad
But
is
that's
like,
because and that is another conversation. That's another one because I'm a little crazy. Even I forget I have a stroke sometimes
"Boy, come
because I
here,
know
you're like, slow down, Turbo, slow down."
I forget, and that's because I'm good to people. I treat people literally how I expect to be treated. And when it's not reciprocated, I don't know, it does something to me, especially when it's in a malicious way. It does something to me, and it pulls another person about me, and I become something different. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
The, the point is, guys, that stop focusing on your old self. You ain't old self. This ain't the 80s. This ain't the 90s. We in 2023. That's the person you going to focus on. Ain't nothing
Mhm.
about you going to ever be that old person. It's impossible. We can't go back to the days we used to go play in the fire hydrants with the tires around. We can't go back to none of that. So it's the same thing with your health. You can't go backwards. You can only go forward and be better than you was yesterday. Period. It's
And
easy.
we're not saying that you can't reminisce about those days. Of course you can
Yeah,
reminisce. Just don't stay there. And expect
exactly.
that you're gonna get to that point because you never will.
And I know it's easier said than done. But as I always tell you, everything in this world takes practice. So if you're used to just focusing on your old self, you have to occupy your mind, because it's just like having idle hands. Having an idle mind is the same way, and it will run you ragged, and you will find yourself just thinking and thinking and think. But no, don't sit there. It ain't gonna take you nowhere. Yeah, baby, it's tough for sure. And absolutely right, we don't stay there. But no, those are things that it's just gonna take practice and patience with yourself now. Stop focusing on that old person. I ain't gonna never be a little bald head cute baby I was. I wasn't bald head, but I was cute. But I ain't gonna never be her again, okay? I ain't gonna never be built like an Ethiopian when I was skinny. You won't never know her. I can't never get my boobies back. Just certain shit stuff I can never do. So we're gonna not focus on our old self. We're gonna focus on who we're becoming, who we're growing. We're gonna manifest who we want to be, not who we was. Because again, as wisdom said and as I said, our old selves is what's gotten us into this position. So you don't want that. You don't want to have this problem happen to you all over again. So ain't no point in even trying to be there. Just be new, be improved, be 2.0, 3.0, 8.0, however many times it took for you. Because remember, we all gonna fall. But that's what success is. Falling multiple times, but never refusing to get back up. So as long as you keep getting yourself back up, reinventing who you are, you won't lose. Your traumas will not consume you, and you will always win. So
Absolutely. And one thing to end this episode on, how do you want to be remembered? Right? Because we're all have an expiration date. We're all gonna check out one day. How do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as that person that got stuck on the fact that they could live their life the way they wanted to, or you want to be remembered as that person that embraced this new opportunity to make new memories and new friendships? Life does not end when you have a stroke or when you have a certain trauma. It just allows you to look at life differently, right? We all know we got to the stroke or we got to the trauma because of A, B, and C. Well, we know we're not going to do that anymore. So what's D, E, and F going to look like? Remember
right.
back in the day, LOL was like version 1, version 2, version 3. It kept
Uh-huh.
getting better. You know why? Because it was sustaining at version 1. It got better and better and better with every update. So treat that like your life. Like, don't look at a stroke as a debilitation. Look at it as an update. Oh, it allowed me to update my life, right? Look at your trauma as an update rather than a debilitation or what's the word I'm looking for? That's a good word. But anyway, don't look at it negative, look at it positive.
That's right. As the person that tried to be positive contributor to the world,
Mm-hmm.
be the change you want to see, guys. How about that? Just be the change you want to see. And as Michael Jackson said, I know it sounds cliche, but it truly does start with the man in the mirror. You have to look at yourself and be proud of the person you are. And if you're not proud of the person you are, take the necessary steps to become proud of yourself. If you need to go back to school to be proud of yourself, do that. If you need to start volunteering with your kids in their school, do that. But do what's necessary to just be your best self, to be proud of you. It don't matter what the world thinks of you, it matters what you think of you. So if you don't feel good about you, just do what's necessary to be your best self. Know that you are loved, you are blessed, you are valued, you are perfectly imperfect the way you was meant to be. So don't try to be nobody else except who you are. Don't worry about your old self because you are new and improved. And just remember, success takes many failures, but refusing to give up on yourself. So as I've said, since I've started SNU, Never give in to giving up on yourself. Know that you are worthy. We love you with our whole heart. We're not doing this because you're paying us. We're doing this because we love you and because we know it's
That's
important.
for sure.
I hate you.
Oh
But
man,
no, it's facts.
I was
Ain't nobody giving us a dollar.
all day. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
But we love y'all. Stay blessed. Now put that crown on. You know what time it is. Get that crown on. Put that lantern inside that crown, and we're going to turn that light up. And we're going to let that light radiate all over our body. And anything negative going to bounce back because we ain't even accepting that. We're reflecting light and energy and positivity. So everywhere where we walk, we're going to grace the world with our presence. Because, hey, you fly. Keep being fly. Know that you're everything that you needed to be, plus more, perfectly imperfect. One. And we love you much. Until next. Oh, catch us Wednesday for Strokes of Humor so you can get your laugh on. And then catch us on Friday for support group. Is on Google Meet. And you can catch the link on the page.
Girl, get off of here. Bye.
Oh, yeah. And don't forget to go to YouTube and subscribe to our page, The Strength in You. Come through, y'all. I love you.
Bye.